Alright guys, we're going to go out to see Aero, and he didn't get fed hardly at all yesterday. I was busy doing dog stuff and all that. I actually changed my routine a little bit with him. I would come out here and sit in front of him in the front of the kennel, a little bit more of a forward position. So now I got the idea. I thought, wait a minute, the other kennel's empty. And there's that nice pallet in the back. And we've got a side profile going here, and you're not presenting yourself to the front of his door. So you're going to sit here in the corner right next to him, and your body is at a side profile now, almost like you'd be kicking it on the couch. So we've changed our posture. The dog is hungrier, and if you notice, his behavior is a lot more wanting of me and my attention and the food because he's hungry. And I'm not touching in any way, shape, or form on any button that would set the trigger off with body posture or presence that's causing the trigger for him to go in aggression. I'm not looking at him. I'm being a buddy. I'm sitting here next to him, and that's all we're going to do. And it's a good morning today because we've kept all the other dogs away from him. Yesterday morning when we had that high aggression level that was coming out of him, and that high, what do we call it? I call it loading up. The dog loads up. So as he was loading up and you can't get away from it when he's in the kennel situation, my dogs hit the backyard, and there's a separator fence in between the 2 yards right there. And that means that they come over by that tree out there, and they take a piss, and they nose and eyeball him through the fence. So that's the behavior you have, and that loads the dog up. He's excited because of those other dogs are out there. So that's what we ended up with yesterday, and that's caused some of our problem with his aggression level getting escalated. The answer to our change of routine, we're going to change our behavior patterns here to get through to him. The biggest one was to get him out of the kennel, and I agree with that, with everybody's talking about get him out of the kennel. You got that, what I call hold me back syndrome. The dog is behind the fence, and their dogs are a lot more aggressive when they're behind a fence. It's just a natural instinct. So we need to break that. We need to break pattern, and we need to get him away from being behind that fence and out with me. So one of the people that we talked to, Bethany, she gave the idea of getting a muzzle on him, and made the assessment that it should have never been away from the owner without a muzzle on him, so that I could work the dog and never put him in this position. She's correct. And I just didn't think of it. I was tired, and I had that turnaround that I went down there and did. And I did all that reading of the animal and working the whole day with the customer trying to see where the dog's head was at. So I blew it and did not do that. So it's a learning experience. It's something I won't forget, that I'll probably be better off with a dog like this, where I make sure he's in a muzzle so that I can do whatever I need to with him right away or as soon as possible, and not let him sit into a cycle like this. And it's all about cycles. This dog is doing this every day. You go to the kennel, every day you have the same routine and repetition, and you don't want to have that with a dog that has a problem like this, because those cycles set in, and then you now have a propensity. It's training, any training, negative or positive, it's training. So we don't want to train the dog in that way. We want him to break cycle, and we don't want him to show that aggression. We don't want him to rehearse that same behavior. So at this point, we're now trying to break cycle and figure a way of doing it. So her suggestion was to get a come along or a catch pole and get that on him, and get a muzzle on him. That's going to be some risk. You've got to handle the dog, you got to catch pole on him. It's also going to be stress to the animal, and we're really escalating our negative relationship. So that being the case, I don't want to be the one that handles the dog and puts that damn thing on him, because I don't want that negative associated towards me. So I'm trying to think of how to do this and what to do. So if you guys have any suggestions to make it the easiest on the dog. And then we have another gentleman that's been around dogs forever, Jim Griffin. Jim suggested getting him out of the kennel and actually just going in a ball drive and get him chasing the balls. Put it on a good 6-foot line and anchor that ball to a line, so you can kind of twirl it and keep it away from your body, so he's not in that trigger zone where he's close to you and he wants to trigger on you when he's close. He's actually in drive, and he's going to be away from you at a distance, and that's smart. That's real smart. So you got to reach a point where you get him out of here and you end up doing that. Do I want to do that with him free and have his mouth free from being able to bite me? Another option would be what the other trainers were doing, where they were putting themselves in a suit. To me, that shows weakness. That shows the dog right away, and you have a fear factor being in that suit. It's a big old object. The dog's not stupid. They sense this. Even if he's never done any bite work and he's not associated towards the equipment, dogs aren't stupid. They sense it. I've been handling dogs for years, and I've never been in a suit. If I had a leash on the dog and I had a choke chain on him, he's got a flat collar on it. That makes it tough. If I had a choke chain on him on a leash, I could end up handling this dog. There's not too many dogs, not any dog that I've ever had, that can get the better of me if he's on the end of the leash. It's because I know what I'm doing. But these guys are fast. They're not a Rottweiler. I've dealt with all kinds of aggressive Rotties and all kinds of aggressive other types of dogs, but these guys are faster than you would imagine. And if his trigger is so subtle that you don't see it, you're going to get tagged. So it's a tricky proposition. But I'm encouraged by his behavior this morning. I think we went right into it, and I've done the right thing. I've taken those dogs out of his picture at all. He's only got me, and now I'm sitting in this back corner, and I'm not going to present him with anything. And watch what he does right now. I'll get him over here, and he's very happy. He's very compliant to doing what I want him to do. But we still have trigger points. We still have him flashing it on these trigger points. We've still got to figure out where those trigger points are. So in a muzzle is a lot better place. And if he goes off on me, like Bethany says, you can just let him show that behavior and you don't have any reaction at all. You're neutral. Keep walking him and keep giving him a drive and just expend some energy. Get him into exercise, get him into some other things where you expend energy, and that energy is going to take away from that pin-up frustration level that he's feeling in here that's causing a lot of the problems. So that's the general overall kind of way that we're going to handle this. And so he came over and sniffed. Some of this is voice tone. It's me talking and him getting excited because I'm sitting here talking and verbalizing. He hears me talking. Now we're back in the cycle. Aussie, smash. Good boy, good. The same cycle that, yes, good boy, good, that we did yesterday. So I'm going to try to catch a spot. This is what we didn't want to happen. I just stayed with it too long. I should have took off and not been here. So I am going to take off and try to catch it when he's in compliance. Nope, smash. Good boy, good. Yes. Oh, you missed it. You missed it. Good boy, good. So now his adrenaline level's up and he's gone to this other behavior pattern. This is what we didn't want to happen, but I sat here and chattering at the camera, and I should have been here for a certain little amount of time, and I should have took off and broke pattern and not been around. So we're going to try to do that now before he starts going into it. Good boy, good. Smash, smash. Good boy, yes. Good boy, good. Oh, I lost it. I lost it here. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Now what the goal was to get him in a different frame of mind before he stepped away. Damn it. And now that bark is kind of just wanting me to come back. And I'm not going to give it to him this time. All right, so that's our little answer.